just all go.
Okay, this is the 70-25. This is what you guys are going to have to put together at the end of the year or at any time that you change your finance officer. And you'll see right there, regular type of report, regular, relief, corrected. We hope not to have a corrected one, but it's usually regular will be year end. Oh, does that work? Okay.
Yeah, it does. I forgot it was there.
Yeah.
It's there, it's working. And you've all got
Yeah,
that in
that
front of you too. That's the form that we
So,
did.
yeah.
It was laser again, I put under the desk.
So yeah, regular relief. I've never seen a corrected one. Just a recording unit, that's just your name and your number. Name being what you are in Ox data. So in our case, in my case, it's Houston 0810602. I'll talk about the two things on this. This is the first page. The second page is your material stuff. That's your materials officer has to fill that out with Buddha and all that stuff. So I'm not gonna, yeah, that's all there is to. I don't deal with it. I don't care. So, but just so you guys know, it's two-sided. So back to the first page. Yeah.
List our stocks and bonds.
Yeah, literally. Well, no, yeah, it's all your property. It's your property report, and I don't know, you know, they're doing a whole different thing, and Buda has his whole thing going, so I don't know.
Please keep in mind the property report is for accountable items. We don't want to see pencils and things on there, okay? Keep it as, the less you have to put on there, the better off everybody's going to be.
Stuff the Coast Guard supplies.
Yeah. Now, essentially, all this stuff, you're going to put, this is your financial record. Your finance officer is going to put this together. Essentially, this is going to be due, I'm going to say, either the end of January or the end of February of next year. I'm not sure on the date. It kind of moves around.
We've been telling them the end of January.
That's fine, end of January, because that's fine, because by that time, your January statements will come in. You guys have done your little audit on this stuff. Your finance officers may have changed. This is, essentially, this is going to be exactly the same as last year's. At 12/31/11, you guys sent this thing in, and so all these numbers, you just put 1112, self-explanatory, you divide it into all this, here's your cash receipts. Okay, take it back. This is the same as 12/31/11. This is all what you have for this year. Dues, you know, contributions, uniform flags. Essentially, mostly what I see, you're going to have your dues. If you buy in, rarely do you have this, but sometimes you do. Conference meetings, if you guys buy donuts for your meetings. Most of your other stuff is going to go other. And you can itemize. And I've seen, if you only have one or two items, you can probably itemize just right there. If you have several items, just attach a second page to it listing, here are my items. This is all that I got in. Like I said, usually, oh, I'm sorry, this is receipts, excuse me. You're usually not going to get a whole lot in. You teach your class, you get in, you get your dues in, everything else. And this is total dues, of course. So all this stuff should tie to your bank statements, your financial accounting packages. I don't know what you guys use. As FCs, of course, you know, you are responsible, or the finance officer reports to you guys as FC, not through the vice. So, and you should look at these things. I have no idea. It varies per flotilla. I know at division, I make a quarterly financial statement for everyone to read. On the flotilla level, I just tell people, hey, we have money. I don't do a flotilla financial statement. It depends. One, how much money you have, how much you spend. I mean, we don't get much money in or out, so it's, you know, it's very small. Units like, say, 6-9, who have a lot of expenses going out and income coming in, yeah, they definitely probably have to have one, you know, more often, quarterly, monthly, I don't know. Okay, and here are your disbursements. This should be all that you take in. This amount here is essentially what you pay me. when I do your quarterly thing, I say, hey, you guys owe me money, which reminds me, a couple of you units do owe me some money for the third. And I'll send you out a reminder, I forget, I think there are 2 of you, I forgot which ones they are. Dues, will go here, what you pay me, here your, this mostly will, whoever teaches PE, if you buy insignia, all, like I said, all is self-explanatory, just have it done. General distribution, this is essentially the same as other, just miscellaneous stuff. If you have a couple of items, you can actually, this thing you can actually type on this PDF on the computer and then print it out, can't save it. So you can actually type a little bit here and then put the number. Of course, all this should all balance out so that at your ending balance of 12/31/12, you know, should tie to what you have. I think, going down a little over here. And there's where you're gonna go. That should all equal, here's your ending balances and all this, so your cash, when you do your beginning cash, plus your income minus your expenses, should equal that.
Do you make up this form?
No, I do not make up this form.
The reason I was gonna maybe suggest at the very top where it says what form it is, and all, if you can put, need to be completed by this form or something, so that when people are scrolling through these forms, they go, oh wow, I gotta get that one done by this.
Oh, well, see, it probably varies by district though.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I don't know, other districts may have,
Forget it.
so,
Scratch
but
that.
yes.
What is relief or relieving officer?
Really, okay. Say for this year, or next year, I'm gonna prepare it, I'm the finance officer. Probably, depending on when I do this, either Chuck or Pat will sign it. And then relieving officer would be, I'm being replaced. Say it's the middle of the year. I am, okay, like this, now, I am now the staff, or the division operations officer. If I wanted to give my finance position over now, which I almost am, I would sign this, Chuck would sign this. Can I say who it is?
Sure.
Okay, Cheryl will sign this, and then, actually, no one would sign that, because he's
So
not
that's
being
the
relieved.
incoming, right?
Yes, it's the
Okay.
incoming. Usually this should be done early on, because if you're gonna do the audit committee thing, you know, here you go, you guys can do that. Director, that's IROS, I guess.
So, if you do this after the first of the year, you're gonna be the preparer, and the approval, it will be signed by Pat, a relieving officer will be Cheryl, and this relieving officer at the district, at division level won't be signed.
Right.
Well,
Yeah, this might be signed if, you know, we
but
do it.
if you do it before the first of the year, would the relieving officer Pat elect?
Well, this
be signed?
would be, okay, this would be, say, like an example, like what we had. Let's see, how would this be? Okay. Well,
Can we talk about this
I get-
at the
okay.
level rather than the division?
okay, well, flotilla level, okay. 6-2, several years ago.
Yeah.
I could prepare this. Actually, I don't know who would have signed it, because
Well, your flow.
my flotilla commander was relieved of duty.
Oops.
And then, yeah, so I mean, technically, say he just resigns instead of, he's resigning instead of being kicked out.
Right.
He would sign this, the vice, who'd probably move up, would sign here. Because now you're saying, okay, because now the vice is taking over as flotilla commander, he or she is now responsible. So like I said, if the FC is being replaced, you know, he or she's gonna sign here, the new one will sign. If the finance officer is being replaced, it's being signed here. Normal, what you guys are gonna do at the end of the year, just these two are gonna be signed.
Okay,
So-
so typically, without people being kicked out or whatever.
Right.
In 6-3, our FSO.
Yeah, Patty will sign
Patty will
here.
prepare it and sign it.
Right.
Bruce.
It depends. It might not be Bruce. Bruce might be gone already.
But right now, let's say it is.
Yeah.
Since
Okay,
it
let's
is.
say it's Bruce, the
He signs
flotilla
here.
commander would sign it, this is year end.
Yeah,
Now,
and that's it.
And that's it.
And then this gets sent to the division finance officer, which at the moment is me.
Okay, got it.
Remember at the top of this report where it says, that square with relief? I think if you check that box that says relief, probably at the bottom, you have to have the relieving officer sign.
That's the material stuff.
Yeah, I went too far.
Yeah, so it just,
Yeah,
and be sure, like I said, when you check the, you know, at the very top, it'll be what is it, regular, whatever it says.
yeah.
Regular, and then type flotilla. And at least put your name and your number. I mean, when you guys, so some of your units have sent it to me without that stuff, and I just write it in because I know who you guys are. You get the numbers wrong, or you don't put your name. I mean, that's fine, I send it. And because it's all gonna get scanned, it's all gonna go to Chuck, because then district wants this stuff. So what they do with it, I don't know, they just keep it, you know. Probably about the same thing I do with it, it's a conduit. So, I mean, for the most part, I mean, I can look at it, see if it looks, you know, if it's in balance and all that, but it should be, because you guys are in charge of it. I, as finance officer division, I am not responsible for how you guys run your money.
Right.
If you guys have problems or something like that, yes, then I step in when like that. About 10 years ago when 6-1 had their finance officer or FC or whatever was actually embezzling. I complained, the division staff, I and several else people complained. Division finance officer stepped in and they investigated, audited or whatever, and found out that, yeah, you're stealing money. So, you know, and for the most part, I mean, no flotillas in Division 6 have over $10,000 in their accounts, so.
Does that include the combo fund?
The Cabo funds? No.
Yeah.
That's off the record.
That's under general distribution.
Second
You
account.
gotta cut that one.
But essentially, like I said, it's very self-explanatory. You know, your finance officers, I think most of them have been in office for several years now. So they pretty well, they've already gone through the cycle at least once, maybe several times. And for the most part, all of them are, you know, or they're all competent, they seem to be. And for the most part, they do their stuff timely. Some are a little slower, but I mean, so anyway, so really get on these guys to get this thing done. I mean, I'm kind of guilty of it too, a little bit, being slow on some of this stuff. But I'll be hounding you guys at least through the end of the year. I'll send you out an email saying, hey, you guys need to get this done. And it's in January, you won't hear from me again. So, but you know, I'll let Cheryl hound you guys, and she's probably pretty good at doing that too. So, I don't know yet.
Well, really, you know, there's two timelines. One, you've got to obviously have your beginning stuff,
Yeah, which you have.
which is the first of the year.
Right.
And then you do your thing, and then when you get your last statement, I guess, that he sent in January.
Or, yeah, first week of January you could do.
Then you can complete it.
Yeah, and that's usually, it varies on when you guys do audits, you know. I think, is it required? I think it is required, you know, it just depends.
Yeah.
I mean, it may be as simple as like, you guys looking, like what do we do in division? They look at the bank statements or something, they will select things, they pick a few things out, look at a receipt or an expense and say, okay, here's the receipt, that's fine. Just depends on how, you know, was it trust but verify?
Yeah.
So, but I mean, yeah, I mean, you may trust, because like I said, I doubt for under $10,000, you're probably not gonna get any of your finance officers stealing. More than likely.
We spot check, we don't look at every receipt.
Right, yeah, you don't expect to, you know. So, but do make sure that, you know, and we don't do things like we should. There's no control really, because the bank statements go to the finance officer, who's in charge of the money. So, I mean, you know, technically that probably wouldn't be correct, but, you know, depends on how much, you know, you guys could post bonds on these guys and all that. It's not worth it. So you just have to trust your finance officer that he or she knows what they're doing. They're not gonna steal. You know, if they're giving you reports, no problem. So,
And it does.
it does
The
what?
new standing rule says, and I'm reading the flotilla, my flotilla standing rules, and like I said,
They're all the same.
they're all the same. The funds, books, and records of the flotilla shall be examined by the audit committee yearly and upon the appointment of a new finance officer. So if you change, but they have to be done yearly,
Yeah, so,
that's what it says. So,
so technically, I guess you could do this at next month, if you wanted, at least through December, and then just look, I mean, if you guys don't have any December expenses or income, then, you know, when we fill this out. Because this is all cash basis, and I'm sure most of all your, balance sheets or whatever, the reports, they put them cash basis. I'm the only one that on division level puts them on accrual basis and converts to cash here. But that's just me. That's just accounting, so. But this is all cash basis, so this should, you know, whatever your bank statements say and all that, your checks and all that, is what it is. So, it makes it easier. Any questions on it? Like I said, it's fairly simple, very straightforward. And if you guys, for some reason, your past FC doesn't have the copy of the old one, let me know, because I have a copy of all of them, and I'll somehow send them to you guys if you need, especially the beginning balances and all that. But you guys should have it in your financial records somewhere.
Yeah.
Or ending balance, yeah, ending balance slash your beginning balances
The ending balance of last year
is the
is
beginning
the
balance of
beginning
this year.
balance of this year.
Yes,
Ah,
there shouldn't be any difference,
pretty good.
unless there's a mistake, and then you'll have to correct it, so. Nothing else? Perfect. Thank you.
John, did that get all your questions answered?
Yes, sir, it did, thank you.
Okay. I forgot, who's your finance officer?
Patty.
Patty? Don't worry,
Peterson. Oh,
don't worry,
She
Patty's,
is fabulous.
yeah. So,
Combo patty.
You haven't replaced her?
no.
Not initially.
Huh?
I think she is going to get an assistant, and that will run with her
Okay.
for a couple of months, and then down the road, I think Patty will probably
Okay.
Which is
go
what,
to- go
which
to
is,
Cabo.
which is what Harry was saying before. All of you should get somebody to back up your staff officers, let them learn the job. I've got I know I can, I've got, I'm sorry that he's leaving, but he kind of said something to me about, well, maybe this year will be the last year for me. And I took that as, okay, maybe we'll give him a new job. And we did.
by default.
Since,
But he
Yeah,
has,
since
he
we-
has someone that has been shadowing him and that
Yes.
is well.
Well versed in
You
finance.
are, yeah, you are, so it'll go in and he'll stay on top of it for a little while anyway, but,
and as you probably know, Tom is our new SO, ops.
And I already have my replacement for 2014 in ops, so.
Congratulations.
He
Yeah,
told
I know.
us it-
He's
he
gonna
told
have
us it
somebody to
was
shadow
true.
him. He's gonna have somebody to shadow him, right, Jonathan?
No, I'm gonna be learning from him until I can figure it out.
He shadowed, you
No, he
shadowed
He
him.
shadowed Doug. See, he was supposed to be it.
But he took on, see, this is
No,
what happens.
he's an FC.
Don't ever take on an extra job. As an FC, you're gonna have a lot to do. You might not think you are, but you are gonna have a lot to do. So Jonathan said to me, sorry, Pat, this is not gonna happen this
We've
year.
got several new members and
And-
they're training to do
I know.
them. I could do my job next year much better than I did this year, you know, if I give it
There
more
you go.
effort.
So, and I said, fine, that's fine, we'll deal with it, and we did. We dealt with it, so. Okay. Thank you for explaining that, and thank you for being here in case anybody had a question about it.
So are you going for the burger?
Yeah, I have to drive, I can't fly, but, you know. Sounds good flying, but.
You know, he's sort of in a casual uniform. You notice what this is?
This is all to
don't you?
make the point that the Airedales have more fun than us.
See, that's what I've been trying to tell people.
Well, I understand that well, I mean,
Yeah, no, you
we have
do.
a huge diversity problem in our flotilla, that's air and surface. It's,
Yes,
Well,
sir.
we do too, but we're half and half, but we're able to.
On these forms you gave us a while ago, the handout, it says it's 725.
Yeah,
When I looked it up under this thing here, that's a 725.
Right.
it's the same thing.
Where's this, I can't find this.
Second page.
Second page?
Yeah, we're going down.
What second page is that, Bill? Oh, that's a script, okay. See, it's confusing, Jim, I wrote down inventory on here,
Okay.
this is financial
But
on here.
it's there.
Yeah, financial's the first page, the back is,
It's the
materials. And unfortunately, I think, I don't know, I really don't know.
Yeah, on the back page it's
Division,
titled
District
unit
wants that.
inventory record. But, I mean, when you look at the icon says it's the financial, 70-25
There you
financial
go,
report.
okay, I got it.
But on the back page, it says unit inventory record.
You know, with the new OTO, I think we all need to keep those records. I mean, I don't, we need to do them.
Wait a minute, time out.
What?
You don't wanna say thank, you wanna say we need to keep those lines.
We do. The new TO is looking at it and we need to do it. That's it. Okay.
So, yeah, you probably should get your material guys on that, or
Yeah.
Budo will hound him too. He is relentless at that. Sends emails.
Okay, well, it's 11 o'clock. Thanks again, Tom.
Yeah.
If everybody to vote on a uniform right now, would we vote for Tom's uniform?
Yeah.
Sounding in order. I said next time,
You know that, sure.
next time.
I know,
Okay,
it's
and you want to take another
Yeah.
break?
I'm ready to take a break.
Take a break. How long is Frank? How long is your?
Is Frank next?
Yes.
I don't know, is Frank